everyone, this is Sabrina. I am so excited to be doing this Everyday Explorers project. It is the Notepad releases. They are 3.5 by 5 inches. Now, they come in a pack of 50. Christine only sent me a sample of a variety of them, so they will not come loose like mine are. They will come in a pack, so that is really awesome. I wanted to do something different with these or think outside the box with them. And I had a ton of photos of what was going on with my life during Allie Edwards' Week in the Life because I was taking all the photos, right? So I figured I could use the front of these notepads and then the back I could use the photos. And so I could put all the information on the front and the photos on the back. Now the design, I had no idea what I was going to do. As you can see, I was lining them up across horizontal and I thought, okay, that might work. And so I put some flaps on all of them because the photos are going to be behind them, right? So once I get all of those cut out, I am going to decide that I don't really like that design. So I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board and kind of figure out what I want to do. I also wanted to mention that there are 6 different notepads. The ones that I chose to work with in this project is currently exploring, currently watching, currently listening, and currently reading. I think the only ones I didn't use was currently listening for podcast and currently eating, because I don't really listen to podcasts and I hardly ever take photos of what I eat. I think I did this week, obviously, because it was Week in the Life. I just chose not to include those. I guess I could have. I should have, probably. But I didn't know that I was going to change my design. I thought that I was going to do the horizontal across both pages. And then I realized, well, Sabrina, duh, that's not going to work because they don't fit. So I kind of had to think about it and how I was going to figure this out. So I folded all of the edges, that way I had the flap, and this is where I go back to my outside the page protector 7 by 8.25 inches and realize that I don't really like this. I don't like it. I just feel like everything will be sticking up and I don't know. I didn't like it. So I pulled out a really large glassine bag and decided to use that. That would be really fun to just do a pocket full of all the information about me and what was going on in my week during a week in the life. Now, the only thing that I kind of goofed on was I think I wound up, you'll see later on, that I picked the wrong book. I think I picked the book that I was reading at the end of the week. I meant to pick a different book, but you know what? Does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? No, right? So I felt like I had to confess that, and now I've confessed, and now we can move forward. So I have this bag and I'm putting down double-sided adhesive, and again using that trick that I saw Ashley do where I'm going to use the eyelet remover to peel off the adhesive, because my fingers do not want to get these little papers off. They just don't. So after I get all of those peeled, I'm going to go ahead and place it down onto my cardstock, and then I'm going to grab another bag that's brown. That way I can put my title on top, because Everyday Explorers also has some alpha stickers that coordinate perfectly with the color of the notepads, and I wanted to put a week in my life. So I am going to do various colors, that way they coordinate, and I will place that on top of the white glassine bag. So I start off putting A in red. It's kind of like a red-orange, and then I put week in orange. And I realized I wanted A and the word in to be 2 different colors. So I'm going to switch out the A and just put a black right on top. Because remember what I said, these are probably the most adhesive alphabet I've ever come across. So once they are down, and you cannot reposition them. So, I mean, that's great because then you know it's stuck for good. So that's awesome. But if you want to move it, you're probably out of luck. So a week in my life, I did green for life, and I spaced them out a little bit more. I'm going to add one little sticker that says a slice of my everyday life with the clear stickers. And if that's still available, I will go ahead and link it. Then I will get started on figuring out my information for what I want to write. And that is very funny because I actually had to stop the camera so that way I could look at my photos and kind of pull up some information about the different prompts and stuff, like the actors for Umbrella Academy. I wanted to look that up, so I had to look that up. And there was some other stuff that I wanted to look up. Okay, so I'm starting with currently reading, and I have a photo of me reading in bed. I also have a second book that I started where I started it. I was at the pool with my daughter, and so I'm going to do a second paper and attach that to the back. Yeah, the back of this currently reading. That way it's kind of a 2-page flip out to talk about all of the different books that I read. I'm going to do this with most of these notepads and then decide later on that I don't want some of them. There was a lot of back and forth when I was trying to figure out this design, but I was determined. It was one of those projects where you just felt like you had to play. It was just all part of the playing, right? Sometimes you need a project where you just play and just kind of figure it out as you go along. I put currently listening and just took a screenshot of my June Spotify playlist. I've done this for years and years. And so it was easy to do this picture with just a little snapshot of what I was reading. For currently exploring, I just put a photo of our hike, and I did not need the flip anymore, so I cut that off. We only did one hike during the week, and that little insert is done. Now, the currently watching, we had a family show that we watched about the hidden lives of pets, so I was going to include that as a second page insert, but I will wind up cutting it off later on. I just decided to go with just talking about the Umbrella Academy. Okay, so I put everything back in, that way I can see how I like it. And now I'll get started on writing the details. I love how these notepads have so many different questions to kind of get all the details about what you're reading or listening to or exploring. So for reading, I put every summer after, and author is Carly Fortune. And the one-line summary, oh my goodness, that was tricky. So that was one of those questions I set aside, and you can see I'm kind of thinking about the dates for Week in the Life. I had to double check, so I was counting that. And I mentioned earlier I got stumped on the actors' names, so I'm going to have to figure that out too. And then one of the questions too was length of the episode. I'm like, I don't know. I just keep watching and watching. So I put maybe 40. I mean, that'll work, right? And for listening, I was able to pick my favorite song. That was the easiest card. I put Kesha, Stronger. It's like a dance pop mix, and it just talks about like a power song about how you're really strong and you just got to keep going day after day. So, and then on the back, I was able to fill that out and just talk about how I've made the monthly playlist, and I just find new songs and I add old favorites and also songs that I find through TV shows. So I love curating my monthly playlist. It just makes me so happy. Okay, I turned the camera off and I filled out my weekly review, which I absolutely loved. I had to look at my photos, and so I just talked about on Monday I had a workout, and Tuesday was a family day for hiking, and this is where I am filling out the information for our hike and how I went with my fave 3 people, and it was a best kind of day because there's a 1-line review. I also had a rating, and I put, can I move here? So I loved that. Currently reading, I went back to my 1-line summary and put Percy and Sam were the best of friends, and then the love went goodbye for various unexpected reasons. And I said, I love this book despite the twist. It's a great love story. So that is what I wrote on every summer after. And like I said, this was the book that I think I started at the very end of the week. So I flip it up, and I'm going to talk about how I absolutely love reading at night. It is my favorite, and it's my favorite escape. And the other book that I started, I think before every summer after, was The Unsinkable Greta James. And I was able to read that while my daughter was swimming, and it was a great reading week. So that wraps up that little flap. I don't know. What should we call it? Flip or flap? I don't know. Currently watching, I picked out the actors that I really liked. It was Five and Klaus, and then I I can't think of the character's name, but I put I love Klaus's antics and 5 sass. And then the one-line review again kind of stumped me, but I put the Umbrella Academy 6 are in the wrong timeline and everything is going wrong, which is pretty much that's a pretty good summary of it. For the exploring, I put that we went back to a favorite place that we love to visit every few months. And I also said, can you spot my husband and son? Because you can see them in the picture. It's just really far away. This is where I chop off the portion of currently watching and just decided to not discuss the family show for whatever reason. I just decided not to. And I think I am almost done with this project. I kept it very simple and totally different than I normally do, I feel like, but I absolutely loved it. And the weekly review, again, I know I didn't do the journaling on there, but that was a lot of fun to do like a one-line review of how my week was. So there you go. It's all back in the page protector, and I absolutely loved playing with this project and making a project. I'm going to put it in my Me album, and I'm done. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing this one come together. I would love a thumbs up or subscribe if you are new to my channel. All right, I hope you have a great day. Bye.